tonight I'm going to go over kind of the main categories of guns. There are tons of guns within each category, within each size group. Kind of the possibilities are endless, the sky's the limit. But this is going to give you a general overview of what you're looking for in each gun, what caliber, size. So the first one I'm going to start off with is your typical pellet gun, BB gun. So the solid bigger it is, it's pretty small, about 22 inches long I think, and it shoots a little teeny pellet, just about like that. These things are good for maybe little rabbit hunts, cottontails, little birds, things of that nature, pests around your house. Not good for big game of any kind. Good for little kids or just competition shooting. I mean, not to go out and hunting. So this is the same one. That one I just showed you was better for kids. This one's more of an adult gun. The first one I showed you was a Crosman Pump Master. This one is a Gamo. This one shoots about 1,000 feet per second. That last one I showed you shoots about 700 feet per second. So this one has a lot more oomph behind it. Oh, that one's probably better for maybe some raccoon, badgers, things kind of that size. The Crosman will kill those, but this one's got a lot more power behind it. The next thing we have is a 22. This is the Ruger 1022. This is probably one of the best-selling 22s out there. There's a lot of good ones out there. This is what I prefer. Its bullet is about that size. It's about an inch long. This thing is good for numerous varmints. They make a 17 that a lot of people shoot. It's very similar to that. It is good for anything that the pellet guns have been able to shoot. Good for maybe coyotes if you're at close range. The 17 is really good for coyotes, I hear. This one's good for maybe some fox, definitely for badger, definitely for things like that, rabbits, anything else you can think of that kind of varminty size. The next gun you have is your varmint gun, which a lot of people shoot different guns from the 22 on up to the 22-250. This one is a 223, so it's kind of in between those two, in between the 22 and the 22-250. It's a little bit cheaper to shoot, but it's got a little bit smaller bullet. So you can see the bullet size goes up just a little bit bigger. This one's good for, definitely good for coyote hunting, definitely good for fox hunting, things kind of that caliber, good for plinking around. So the next gun you have is kind of your deer sized rounds, kind of for maybe some mule deer, probably a little bit too small, definitely for whitetail. This one's good for coyotes as well. Like I said, it's more of a mid-range type of gun. This is your 243, so that's what this one looks like. It's about the same size as the 223, but it's got a lot more brass, so it's got a lot more powder behind it. We've killed numerous deer with this gun. Some of my friends kill elk with it, but they're shooting them in the head when they do that. Definitely an all-around good gun. So this is kind of in between your 22-250 and maybe your elk guns, maybe a little bit bigger game guns. So definitely a good gun to look into, especially if you're going to shoot whitetails, things of that nature. The next gun you have are your big game guns. Your big game guns consist of probably your 7mm 08, 270 on up, so 30-06, 308s, 300, 338s. These are definitely great guns for deer. They do a wonder on deer, both whitetail and mule deer, antelope. This is good for elk. This one's a 270. I've killed a lot of elk with this, and people say it's a little bit too small, but I haven't had any get away. I've also killed a moose with it. I do hunt with premium ammo, so that might be a little bit different. I wouldn't go moose hunting without premium ammo. I had a clean pass through both sides, left a massive hole on one side. This is the size of it. That's what it looks like. So it's quite a bit bigger than your 243. A lot of my friends shoot 7mm and 300s, and they don't have much difference. So the 6.5 Creedmoor, about the same size, about the same comparison. Kind of just depends on whatever you're looking into. This one has some good recoil to it. Probably I would say 14 years and older shoot these, unless you have a big 12-year-old. I started shooting when I was 12, and it was, I think, a little bit too much gun for me. I think I wish I would have started on a 243 Would have been a lot more practical, but I was also a smaller kid. So that's your 270. Now we're going to get into a couple specialty guns. So next we're into a specialty gun, your shotgun. This one's way bigger than those other ones. Effective for close range, probably 30 yards and under. After that, you're kind of just throwing BBs out all over the place. So that's what their bullets look like. This is a 3-inch shell. A lot of guns hold 3 inches smaller. Some of the newer guns, well, I guess a lot of the newer guns hold 3.5-inch shells and bigger. They pack a lot more oomph behind them. Good for any kind of waterfowl you can think of, land birds, so grouse, your pheasants, your turkeys. This one's a 12 gauge, good for ducks and geese, kind of an all-around good gun. This is the model 870 from Remington. Great little gun. If you have any questions about it, let me know. Like I said, this is its shell. And the last gun we have today is your muzzleloader. This is going to get you into a lot of extra special hunts, kind of get you into a brotherhood of people, I guess. There's quite a few people who are religious about their muzzleloaders, that they only go traditional, they don't hunt any other way. So all it shoots is a ball of lead. So this is what mine looks like. It's called a maxi ball. They do shoot round balls, they shoot sabots, they shoot all sorts of different kind of projectiles out of them, but this is what I shoot. And all you do is pour the powder down into it, down to the top, ram this down in there, and then put a cap on it or flint, depending on what kind of gun you have, and then pull the trigger and you're good to go. These things are good. This one is an older traditional one. It's good out to about 100 yards for anything that the lower 48 has to offer, I think. Maybe a moose, it might be a little bit underpowered. You might want to go with the 54 caliber. This one's a 50 caliber. Like I said, great gun. They do make newer, more modern inlines that shoot out to 200 yards pretty easy, and even some that in other states, I'm in Idaho, that allow you to shoot specialty guns with scopes the whole 9 yards. You can shoot up to 300-400 yards. So there's quite a slew of muzzleloaders out there that you can get, depending on the legality of your state, and if you're hunting, that makes a lot of difference. So check into your regulations. And those are some of the main guns and components of them.